Phil stayed in the Shadow Valley for many days with his friends Lenny and Gwen. Life was hard there, but they were surprised to find whole towns of people in the Shadow Valley. Others who were dressed in black, who had also been drawn away by the treasure that was not. Some over time forgot about Lightland and the great Lifelight altogether. They acted like the Shadow Valley was all there was. Some even said they liked it and that it was a good place, even though their Lifelight had been out for many years by then. Others, like Lenny and Gwen, still remembered the joy and peace they had once had in Lightland and hoped that somehow still there might be a way back. Phil had finally figured out that his magic sneakers were the way he got back and forth from their world to ours, so he would sometimes go home when his mom was making spaghetti and to make sure his homework was done. Meanwhile, while Phil was still in Coatesville, Lenny and Gwen traveled to a nearby town in the Shadow Valley to buy food. While they were there, a man came running through the streets yelling, "I met a strange man just outside of town. He is all dressed in white with a very bright light upon his head. He sent me to tell you that all who are tired of darkness and long for light and life should go out to him, and he will show you the way." The people of the town began to murmur and to stir. Some began to scoff and called the man a silly, stupid fool. Others even threw rotten fruit at him and laughed in his face. But Lenny and Gwen looked at each other in disbelief. Could this be the great Lifelight come to rescue us out of the Shadow Valley and bring us back to Lightland? Quickly, they, along with some others, slipped through the crowd and made their way out of town in search of the strange man in white. Just outside the town gates, on the main road, he was standing, welcoming everyone who came and calling them all by name. Lenny and Gwen recognized him right away. It was Lifelight. Gwen bowed down in front of him and started crying. "Lifelight," she said, "will you please forgive me for believing the bird instead of you? Have you come to take us back to Lightland?" Just then, Phil walked up behind Lenny and whispered, "Lenny, I'm back. What's going on here? Who is this? What is Gwen doing?" Lenny whispered, "I'll explain everything later." Then Lifelight answered Gwen, "I have come to take your darkness away and to give you my Lifelight. My Lifelight will lead you through the Shadow Valley and on to Glory Mountain, high above Lightland." Then he went up on a hillside and called everyone to him who had come out of the town. Phil went up too, but he stood back by a tree, watching everything from further away. Lifelight then told Lenny to stand on his right and Gwen on his left, facing the others. His light was now shining so brightly that Lenny and Gwen could hardly look at him. Then, calling out to all in a loud voice, he said, "Do you know my name?" "Lifelight," they answered. "You are Lifelight." A hush now fell over the crowd. He then spoke softly to them, but his words pierced the air like tolling bells. "I have come for all who cry, because they believe the bird's treasure lie. I have come for those who know they went where they should never go. Are you ready to leave Shadow Valley and to follow me to Glory Mountain?" "We are ready," they answered. But one they all knew as Merkel complained, "This is ridiculous. How do we even know there's a Glory Mountain? I'm not leaving my farm here in the valley to follow some crazy dreamer. I'm going home." And with that, he left, and several others followed after him. Lifelight then said to those who remained, "All of you, join hands with Lenny and Gwen." Soon a great circle of hundreds was formed. Then Lifelight lifted his hands high and proclaimed, "Your darkness shall now be brought upon me, so that my Lifelight with you forever will be." With that, he shot his hands straight out to Lenny and Gwen, completing the circle and sending an explosion of light around the entire chain. lights on every forehead went on and burned so brightly that a flood of light filled the inside of the ring. A shout of joy erupted from them all, and they cried, "Lifelight has come! Lifelight has come!" But in a moment, their joy fell into horror when they looked and saw that Lifelight was down, lying still on the ground. His light was now dark. His life was now gone. "No!" Phil cried, running towards Lenny. "Must he go dark so the rest can have light? No, this can't be so!" Lenny stood silent with nothing to say. His light was now shining, but he could only look down. Then suddenly, as sometimes happens in stories, as they stared and as they cried, a beam of light shot from the sky. There in front of everyone, Lifelight's face shined like the sun. He had been dead, but was now alive. Darkness killed him, but he survived. He stood up tall so that all could see he had won a great victory.